How's it going, everybody? This is Martin Stokes here.
And this is Dean Scurry.
I am a traveller.
And I'm a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
And a Countryman podcast.
Are we recording now?
No.
Are we recording, Dean?
No.
I don't know.
We're not recording.
Well, no tricks around here, Dean. You'll be looking for new equipment. Today's episode 18. And I think Dean wants to talk about recovery. Is that right? Is it Ballymun recovery?
Yeah, it's Recovery Month in Ballymun. I think it's Recovery Month everywhere, but especially in Ballymun, it's Recovery Month. So we had my ma on last week and she talked about her recovery. And loads of people got back to me saying it was great to hear her talking about that. But it's had to taken her a long time to be able to talk about that so freely. One of the reasons I want to talk about Recovery Month is yesterday I done a 100-kilometre cycle. It was about 45 of us, but I'd say about 30 of those people who went out on the cycle were from Ballymun and they were in recovery. And it was amazing. It was a hard old cycle now.
Well, have you recovered from the cycle, first of all?
Well, I had a bath after it with Epsom salts, so my body's all right. I went for a swim today in the sea, but it was hard work. It wasn't a walk in the park.
No, but if you're doing this cycling every single day, yeah, don't you?
I go out.
Not the same cycle, but you do cycle every day.
I go out about 3 times a week to do a cycle, but they're only like 30, 40k cycles.
And is the muscles all sore every time you cycle?
Not generally at all. Like I'm only going up to Hout and back.
Would it depend on the weather? If the weather was bad and the rain was getting at you, obviously you're going to leave you sore.
No, it's more the distance.
So on this recovery cycle, how many kilometres did you do?
100 kilometres, about 110. But
good.
because it was a big group of us, it took us, we left at 8:30 in the morning from Ballymun and we got back at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. It was about 7.5, 8 hours in the saddle. But we had a number of stops, like we stopped off in a place called the Red Door Project in Drogheda. So we cycled from Ballymun to Drogheda, and that's like a support group for people who are in recovery, who are getting off drugs and alcohol and so on. So we stopped up there.
Is that the main focal point?
Up in Drogheda, yeah. But we also
drugs
stopped
and
at
alcohol.
the police station in Drogheda because my brother came out with me. So we got a Garda escort into Drogheda. We went to the Garda station, went to the Red Door Project, had food there, stocked up on chocolate and sandwiches and all that. Probably had a few too many sandwiches. And then cycled back to Ballymun, but I could feel it.
From Drogheda?
Yeah, I could feel it in my body coming back. It was a tough old cycle for me on the way back. I enjoyed doing it, but
What about everybody else? You weren't the only one who was there.
yeah, well, there was people there who were well able for it, who regularly do hundreds. There was people there who found it really, really tough, who were hardly out on bikes at all. So there was kind of all levels of experience and skills.
Anyone complaining? No.
There's a couple of people. We had a minibus with us. They helped us with a bit of support. So there's a few people, had small accidents, fell off their bike or hurt themselves, or
So the bus was there to help.
so the bus was there as a kind of support.
Very good.
But yeah, nobody really complaining too much. Like people were knackered, like body sore, like you know what I mean.
Yes.
Especially in the second half,
When you say someone is knackered when they're cycling, and
Yeah.
say what do you mean? What does it mean? Like,
like their body's bollocksed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So why does the word knackered come into it? That's what.
Don't be getting all
I'm
defensive
lost.
here
I'm
now.
lost here. I need to know.
Don't be getting all defensive now.
No, I'm not getting defensive. Honestly, I want to ask you.
Do you never
why
use that word? No.
Never. No.
No.
Never.
I was knackered.
But
I went to bed at 8
no, it's no
o'clock.
offense
Why?
to me.
I was
I'm
knackered.
No, but what does knackered mean when you're tired? Tell me that one.
Bollocks.
I know we're going to a different subject, right?
Means bollocks.
No, I was just lost. I was just wondering, like, what
You
does it mean
ain't
when you
lost.
say- No,
you're trying to vex me.
I was
Is
wondering
that,
when you're
is that what
saying.
you'd say? You're trying to vex me.
Why you say I'm knackered? Why would you say I'm knackered? There's a million other words to use. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not getting
bleeding
not
bollocks.
offended here. Right? Like, just saying.
So we done the cycle, and the night before we had done another cycle. So as part of Recovery Month, there's loads of stuff happening in Ballymun. There's talks, barbecues, conversations, podcasts, gigs on. On Friday night, we done a thing called Rave and Ride, which is around Ballymun, which was the first time we ever done it. Philia McMahon done a thing, Rave and Ride. So what we got was a double-decker bus with a DJ on the back of it. We were trying to raise money for young people to do sports in Ballymun. So there was like a tenner for a child to do it, 15 quid for an adult. And we cycled around Ballymun, 2 big loops with a DJ on the back of a bus and about 220, 250 people. 8 o'clock at night.
All cycling.
All cycling. Music pumping. We had a DJ, Ryan Ennis, there, pumping the tunes out. the guards were in behind us, kind of stopping the traffic
So
coming up.
was the music on the bus in front of you? Yeah. So was it something like the Pied Piper just to keep you going?
Keep the kids going through Ballymun. I was pumping. It was just pure buzzy, pure energy. I think people were just getting excited by being out at night, cycling in a group, and the music.
That's lovely
pumping.
buzz of all being
Just
together.
a buzz, like.
About the crowd being
And
together.
I think sometimes we miss that buzz, just having the fun, just doing stuff like that.
Well, you organised, didn't you?
I didn't. Philly McMahon organised. I helped them. Ballymun Health and Fitness Festival helped.
Very good.
Just organise it and get it done.
So what was the aim? To raise funds for young kids for sports.
We have this idea as part of a project we're doing for Ballymun Health and Fitness Festival, and just in Ballymun in general, that access to sport or entry into sport should be free for all kids in Ballymun. So let's say a kid wants to try out boxing, table tennis,
Yes.
or any sport that they're into.
The gyms, the small gyms there.
Yeah, that money shouldn't be the thing that stops them from doing it.
Absolutely, yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're looking to raise a few quid. So that
Because there could be a talent there, but you don't know unless to get to try it.
Talent or an interest.
And they might be able to afford to get into it.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a talent, just an interest.
Yeah, but they could have a talent. It's just
absolutely, yeah.
Think about it. There could be young lads there that could be great footballers. There could be great swimmers. There could be great tennis players. There could be great at any sport. But like you just said, if you're raising money to get them into this, if they can't afford to get into it, they'll never know, never get the chance to express their talents, will they?
Yeah. Like sometimes I do think we look for the best of the best, and then I just think, let's just let everyone get into whatever they want to get into. Somebody wants to try chess for 6 months or swimming, just let them do it. Because if they're busy doing that, they're starting to suss out what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy. They don't have to become the best in the world at it.
Yes.
Just have to get involved in it. And if there's a few quid there, like I know a lot of kids probably wouldn't be able to get into sports because of the money. You know, because getting in at the start, there's equipment to buy and there's your first month's subscription and all that type of stuff. But once kids get into stuff and if they stick with it, well, then we can look at getting the rest of the money to help them out. But just get them in the door first.
To see, do they have an interest in what they're thinking, basically?
Let them try a range of bleeding things.
Yeah.
BMXing, skateboarding, hang gliding, horse riding, whatever it is. Because if they're doing that, they're out of bedrooms, they're off the PlayStations, they're up and active. And we all know, like, obesity is becoming a problem in Ireland, especially for young people. Mental health for young people as well. So there's nothing like a good sport to kind of help with that type of stuff.
So that was Friday, back to Friday, was it?
So that was Rave and Ride, Friday night.
Right. So Saturday then was the one you went on
Saturday was the recovery cycle. So
you had 200 people cycling behind the bus on Friday around Ballymun.
Yeah, a little bit more than 200, yeah.
Say 200, 250, whatever, which is very, very good. And the Saturday one then.
It was about 45, 50 of us.
That's what I was going to ask. How many was there? How many went on that one too?
So we left from the youth centre in Ballymun, 8:30 in the morning, cycled up towards Drogheda, 1 or 2 stops along the way.
So who organised this?
So there's a group in Ballymun called the Recovery Road Cycle Club. There's a place in Ballymun called Yap, and as part of the recovery of people going there to that service, they set up this cycle group.
Right.
So a lot of it is lads and girls that I grew up with. So there'd be lads in their 30s, 40s that I grew up with here in Ballymun when I was a kid, who are going through their recovery now from drugs and alcohol, and the cycling is just clicked with them. This is working. When they're out on the bike twice a week, I think they go out on a Thursday and a Saturday, and they do like 40, 50, 60k. And just getting out on the bike and going up the backcountry roads and just being in a group gives them the time and the
space. It's like a motivation thing, is it?
Yeah, but it's also like a meditation as well.
Yeah, but when there's a few people there, if there's a few people
there, we're going to get out.
Kind of.
So you probably wouldn't get out yourself twice a week and do a 50-kilometre cycle. But if there's 15 lads going on a Thursday at 5:30, you're going to get out. And then once you're out on the bike and your legs are turning around and you're facing straight, all the shit that's going through your head, you can just let it go through your head. You know what I mean?
Very good.
And it's kind of like a meditation. That's what I find anyway.
So was that a fundraising cycle as well? It was.
That wasn't a fundraising cycle. That was just like a celebrating recovery month and just saying well done and give themselves a bit of a challenge because they do regular 50s and 60s. But 100 kilometres, 110 kilometres is a serious enough cycle. Like I'm out regularly cycling, and it was tough enough for me.
So the people that wasn't used to it then obviously found it harder then.
Some people found it really hard.
Did that guy that went over to England on the Darren Man, did he do the cycle?
No, he was out with the Rave and Ride. Who was out with us? Shawnee Kinsley was out with us.
He done the one to draw it, did he?
Shawnee done the Drogheda one, yeah.
Oh, good
My
man,
brother
Shawnee.
done it.
I seen Shawnee on the paper there a couple of weeks ago.
Did you? What was he up to?
He made the newspaper basically about his story about a recovering addict and now all the work that he's doing, say, for the community.
What do you think? That's one of the questions I want to ask you. What do you think about recovery?
I don't know much about. Are we talking about like alcohol and stuff like that?
Alcohol. Well, what do you know what recovery is at all?
Recovery can mean anything. A person can recover from anything.
So, in Ballymun this month in September, it's recovery month.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Did you mention to me something about recovery, drugs and alcohol? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is that the only thing people are recovering from in Ballymun?
Drugs, alcohol, any types of addictions. That's
Yes.
kind of what it is, yeah.
So is that the main focus? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd imagine that's what I probably would think anyway. When you talk about recovery, is it something to do with people on alcohol, or is it as I said earlier on, maybe drugs or what?
Would you know many people in recovery?
No, being honest about it. I know a lot of people. All right,
You said when my ma was talking last week that you know a lot of heavy drinkers. Like
that's right.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. I know a lot of drinkers, but I don't know a lot of people that's in recovery. I don't know a lot of people who's trying to get off the drink or who even wants to stop the drink. I'm talking about travellers now because you're asking me the question. A lot of travellers would be very shy to talk about these things. Honestly, they'd probably be very shy to even go, like to join groups of, let's say, where they need help on them situations, like, if you know what I mean. As even though as dumb as it sounds, they'd be very private to the situation. Not that private is the best option, in a sense where they'd be very shy and ashamed of it. But I've often heard it say that a person is not ashamed. They're not ashamed to drink too much, or they're not ashamed to, let's say, take drugs if you like. But why be ashamed if they're not ashamed to do them things and let themselves go so far as to sort of no return kind of thing? Why would they be ashamed to actually ask for help? They should not be ashamed to ask for help.
And as you said to me, ma, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know that they need help or that there's help there.
Yes.
So that's why I was asking you, would you know what those support groups are? Like, you've probably heard of AA.
Yeah, I've often heard of it, yes.
Do you know any other ones?
No, that would be the Alcoholics Anonymous, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've often heard that. I've never really heard of anyone having a conversation about it.
Have you not? No.
No, never, no.
Other than, for example, me
Because
ma.
what I'm saying is, yeah, your mother now the other here, say last week, was very good. Obviously, when people listen to that, I think she should be a great inspiration to people, that she can actually open up and talk about it. And of course, by her story, it should open people's eyes up and realise that if one person can get help, it's probably there for everybody.
Yeah, it was hard for her to come in and talk about it.
To even talk about it, yes.
But I think afterwards, she feels great about it.
Yes.
She was saying to me that she just feels so good and so grateful for being able to talk about it.
She probably feels good because the chances are that she could actually help somebody else out there without even realising it. People thinking like if they have a problem with whatever alcoholism or drugs, whatever it might be, that let's say they're all locked up on themselves, if you like. That they feel maybe there's nowhere to turn or there's no one to talk to or there's no support out there for them. When the reality of it is, there is support and help out there for them. And there is community that will get together with them as well.
So there's a few things there I'm just thinking of. One is, do you know the other groups for support? Like, have you ever heard of NA?
No.
So that's Narcotics Anonymous. GA.
No.
What do you think GA is?
I haven't got a clue.
Gamblers Anonymous. For people who are addicted
never
to
heard
gambling.
of that one. No.
There's Eaters Anonymous for people who have eating disorders and are addicted to eating or not eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I'm not sure what the other one is. Overeaters. There's sexual addiction and there's support for that as well. There's all types of stuff because people it's not just alcohol. We used to just think it was alcohol.
Well, I would have heard of. I'd never heard of groups of support for gamblers. Like,
So just in the church here in Holy Spirit Church, there's Gamblers Anonymous meetings.
is that right?
So people, because gambling is
That's something I would never have heard of.
gambling is huge.
I know that gambling is let's say an addiction.
It's a killer.
I know one or two people who are addicted. Now, you might have the small time gamblers and the big time gamblers. It depends what kind of funds they have to gamble with, if you want to put it that way.
Well, just like the alcoholic, it doesn't matter the amount of the alcohol.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And
They want it no matter what.
that's the one.
Whether they can afford it or not, they want to do that. It's simple as.
And I think we would be surprised if we don't know already. We would probably be surprised that there's gamblers or gambling addicts in our own families.
I know of one or two people who is, let's say, addicted to gambling. The only time they're not gambling is when they have no money to gamble. But yet, when they get a few bob, to go and run into the gambling machines. So that, to me, that's an addiction. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No,
I'm guessing that it is.
It is, but they have to kind of find that themselves. It's just like I can't point out to somebody who has a problem drinking going, you're an alcoholic. That's a journey they have to go on.
Absolutely, yes.
You know what I mean?
Could it be a case where they don't want people to point it out to them? They probably know it, but the fact that they're addicted, they don't want to stop it. They mightn't, of course, have that kind of willpower, or chances are someone mentions them or says, even points out to them. They probably don't want to hear tell of it because they like what they do.
That's part of when my ma was talking about you socialise and you drink and it's grand until it's not grand, until you can't get out of bed, until it's causing problems in your family, until you're missing work, until your relationships are falling apart, until you're losing your house and your mortgage.
It's only obvious them kind of addictions cause problems in families.
Yeah, but in the early stages, it's not. In the early stages, it's like anything else. It's like a sex addiction, absolutely amazing until your marriage is breaking up. You know what I mean? Or a food addiction.
But if a person's on drugs or drink, just say alcohol, for instance, how far do they go on that alcohol situation to realise that they have a problem? Or do they even realise they have a problem? Or is it a case where when they realise, they feel like there's not much they can do about it? So it has to come from someone out there has to help them when they can't help themselves.
I don't have an addiction, so I don't know. So I don't know what that full journey is for somebody. You know, what is the point in their life with their addiction that they get to a place and they go, I'm lost here and I don't know what to do? Is that what they call rock bottom? Is that you've tried to live with your addiction no matter what it is, and it just keeps on coming back and providing more problems, and you keep on losing all the stuff that you had, like your family and your friends and your job and your house and all this type of stuff. You know, I don't know how far it has to go.
Do you know?
I would imagine everybody is different. Every single person is different.
That's not to say that the person that doesn't do it can't see from the distance that there's a problem there. For instance, right, there's a person over there, just say drinking, right? And you know he's drinking every single day. Now you can see that problem, can't you? You know from a distance he has a problem. But he mightn't realise he has a problem. Because why? It's something that he likes to do. So he doesn't see it as a problem. Do you reckon anyway, do you know how people sort of would give advice to each other, yeah? Do you reckon the best advice comes from the person who has the addiction? What I mean is, right, you have a drinker there, and he says to you, look, don't be touching that stuff there because it'll only bring you down, or it'll do harm to you, or you get caught up in it. And the cheeky person turns around and says, how do you know? You're doing it all your life. But I reckon that's the best person to get the advice from, the person that is doing it all his life. When he tells you stay away from it, because he knows the damage that it can actually do to you. In other words, like you're an alcoholic, right? and you see a young lad there, whatever, 19, 20 years of age, and he's having his few pints, and he's going on again, he's doing it again, and you can see, like, look, he's going to go down a bad road here because he's doing it too often, kind of thing. So then you turn around and say to him, look, put that out of your hand because that's not good for you. That is addictive. That is catching. That will drag you down. That will literally ruin your life.
I love that phrase. That is catching.
So he turns around and says to you, well, sure, why, how could you give me advice? So you're doing it all your life. So in his eyes, you're a bad person to give him advice because you're actually doing what you're telling him not to do. You're doing that all your life. But what he doesn't realise is you're the one that knows it because of the fact that you're actually doing it all your life and the fact that it has ruined your life and brought you down. Alcoholism, yeah? Then you're the best person to get advice from.
Yeah, but also people,
you know
people
the
have
road.
to, but people still have to do their own stuff.
I know, I understand that.
People have to learn their own lessons.
Yeah, but you don't want. That's like charging somebody for advice the way you're talking there. I wouldn't charge a person for good advice. If I thought a young lad was going down the wrong road, and I could say, look, hold on a second, I've been down that road, I wouldn't like to see him going down that road. I'd take him aside and talk to him, and explain to him, look, what you're doing here.
Now, are you still
wrong.
drinking at this point?
What you're doing here is wrong.
The person that giving advice still drinking?
Yeah, the person is still drinking.
Don't be giving me advice then. Hop on to yourself.
That's what I'm talking about. Attitude. You're the young lad. Now you're the young lad that the alcoholic is giving advice to, and that's the first thing he turns around and sees. You just said it.
You're going to give me advice, and you're knocking back that point of bleeding Guinness.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm saying to you, Dean, hold
take
on
your
a second.
own advice. Take your own medicine.
This is what I'm saying to you, Dean. I've been down that road. It has ruined my life.
But you're still bleeding drinking.
Yes.
You're ordering 2 points there at the bar.
Yeah, but I'm good enough to advise you not to go down.
You want to advise yourself, pal.
That's right. But I'm good enough to advise you.
Take your own advice and shove it up your...
Yeah, stop the language. I'm good enough to advise you to keep you from going down that bad road. So that's where the advice comes in.
Yeah, you know what advice I'm going to give you? Mind your own business.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
That's what you would say. But who's better to give you advice than the person that's been down that road?
I think your explanation has fallen apart there. You're sitting there slaughtering points.
I don't think so.
You have the cheek to give me a young book advice.
Yes, 100%.
Come on to yourself. It's not working.
A person with a bit of sense would realise and say, look, he's right. It's ruined his life. The drink has ruined his life. And he's telling me, don't do that because it's going to ruin mine. So I'm going to take his advice. So basically, you've often heard the saying, take a fool's advice. Have you ever heard that one?
Never heard it, but I like it.
I've heard it 1,000 times. Take a fool's advice. That's what they say. So he's actually claiming to be a fool because why? He went down that road. But yet, he's looking at that young lad. He said, I wouldn't like to see him go down this road because it's a tortured road.
So has that ever worked for you?
So I'll ask you a question then. No, it hasn't worked for me. But what I'm trying to point out to you is the best person to get advice from is the person who's been down that road. Like, if you ever went somewhere and you'd walk in, you walk back out, and you say, gee, I'm not going in around there, then you see somebody else coming in, and you say, look, you're better off not going in around there. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
Well, now that's the same situation.
I love the way you see the world. It's fucking
I see the world in a wonderful, beautiful way.
That's deadly.
But the point about it is, some people are like you, Dean, they don't understand.
Oh, thanks very much for the compliment.
They contradict a phrase. They actually, I tell you what it's like. It's like two boxers, yeah? One of them is professional. The other is an absolute lunatic of a boxer, yeah?
Yeah.
But he comes in and makes the professional look stupid because he's so awkward of a fighter. You see? So that's you now. Yes, I'm picturing that you now, Dean. You make a story complicated.
Awkward hole.
You twist and you turn and I know you're winding me up, but it's not working for you.
So come here, I wanted to see, in your experience in the travelling community,
yeah,
people might have heard of AA, but they'll shy away from it. They probably wouldn't have heard of GA or NA. Like they're not conversations you would have.
I can honestly tell you that I do not know anybody going to the AA. I know what the AA is.
Would they know they existed?
Of course they do.
You think they do?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
They do. The other things, the other ones you're talking about, I've never heard of them.
NA, Narcotics Anonymous.
Right.
CA, Cocaine Anonymous.
Serious?
Yeah.
I've never heard like that, never. And I don't know many people because I don't talk to people about these. I don't talk to people about, let's say, drugs, for instance.
Would you talk to people about recovery?
No, I'll tell you what I would do. I'd love, for anyone that would be on, say, heavy on the alcohol or heavy on the drugs, I would love to see them changing their ways and be better persons. Because sometimes you can actually be offending somebody by, let's say if I was to approach, right, Dean, you're on the drugs there, kid, you want to be doing something with yourself, you were liable to take offence from me telling you about that. Now, I know it can be the same situation with alcohol, but people are more open to alcohol than what they are to drugs. For instance, right, I see a young lad, and I think he's drinking and he's doing it too often. I would no problem approaching him and telling him, look,
Oh, I understand what you're
like,
saying
I wanna
there.
say,
You
young
mightn't
lad-
say to a fella who's on drugs because they might take offence to that quicker than they take offence to you talking to them
yeah,
about
and I could
alcohol.
turn around and say to you, hold on for a second, I'm not on drugs. Why are you saying I'm on drugs?
Yeah, I can see that
That
conversation.
kind of stuff. So you're treading on, as a fella say, you're stepping into deeper water there.
You're treading on thin ice.
Yes. On the other hand, about drinkers, like if I seen young lads, they maybe 19, 20 years of age, just say that. Could be friends of my own, could be relatives, whatever. And I thought they were overdoing it. If I got the opportunity at all to, like, say, sort of advise them to not be doing that, or it could be anything. It mightn't be about alcohol. It could be about maybe anything, arguing and fighting or getting into problems or getting into trouble, all that sort of stuff. I'm always open to give a bit of good advice.
What about eating shy food? Like if somebody's constantly eating chip or chip or chip or chip or chip or
I'd
chip.
like to advise them not to be doing it because it's not healthy. Being honest about it. I wouldn't go around the world having explain to everybody. Like, I'd be more around my own family, if you know what I mean. And I'd probably have more conversation with them about these things than going outside the line, if you know what I mean. Now, I've often had maybe just a normal chat with people, like, and if the conversation come up, I'd say, yes, look, it's not good for you, it's not healthy. I don't like sort of intervening in certain people's business, if you like. They mightn't take it too kindly, you know what I mean? But some people are great, some people are very understandable, like when you...
I just want to put out there that recovery is a thing you shouldn't be ashamed of, that you should try. That if you have an addiction and it's causing problems in your life, whatever the addiction might be, don't be ashamed.
Don't be shy to look for help.
To reach out and look for help.
Yes.
Because that, in this
What
community...
about people that don't know there's help there for them?
So that's what I'm saying. So, because in this community, people where they didn't know there was options and support there for years, and there was shame, and there was shyness about it for years. And it's only in the last couple of years, 3 or 4 years, in this community that people are starting to really go, you know what, I'm going to take the risk and take the chance and step into it.
Yeah, but is that because one person does, then the next person does it? Does a person get courage off another person? If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I think they reach a point in their own addiction and stuff like AA and all that. It's kind of like word of mouth. You know what I mean? It's not advertising on the radio. It's not advertising on the television.
But you're saying it's only going around, say, for the last 3 years now, people are starting to step up to it.
My ma's in recovery 30 years, 30
Right.
odd years. But I remember 30 years ago that it was like hush, silence, don't talk about it. It was
But it's
kind of
only
like a
come to
secret,
light in
it's
the
kind of
last
like a
3 or 4
secret
years.
society. You know, we're going off to do this thing down here. Now people, I feel in this community in the last couple of years, it's just a normal conversation now.
If there's more people doing it now, yeah, is it because, like, look at the neighbour or the third neighbour down or whatever it might be, or such a one up the road there, they're doing it. So listen, I'm going to give it a try. So is one person encouraging the other to actually do it? Let's say it's breaking down the shy barrier. So basically, maybe is that the reason now we have more people going there?
Yeah, so I'm just imagining in the travelling community where there's a lot more what I see as shyness or shame, there's an opportunity to talk about it more, to talk about the options of recovery. Because as you said, you know a lot of people who are drinking. You know a lot of people who are drinking bad, drinking heavy.
You might call it excessively, yeah.
Excessive. But I don't hear a lot of conversations about recovery in the travelling community. And I'd like to see more. I'd like to see the conversations happening where people can talk about recovery as a good thing, as a positive thing, as an option to do, rather than hiding it away or not talking about it or being shy of it. And I don't know how to do that other than to sit on this podcast and have a conversation with you about it.
Yeah. See,
I just think there's an opportunity there for growth.
I know I had a couple of words earlier on about people giving advice, and sometimes the best advice is probably the person that's been down that road. Now, other people mightn't see that as great advice, because why? Like you just said, why should I take your advice? Or you're doing it all your life. Yeah, that's attitude. People has that attitude towards certain things in life. It's like a father telling his son, look, will you stay away from there? Look at them things are only trouble, or that place is only trouble.
Stay away from them lads.
And
They're
he's-
only going to cause you trouble.
Right, and the son turns around and says to you, but sure, who are you to talk? Are you doing the same thing all your life? But what the son doesn't understand is that the father has learned from that. And the father knows, again, the same story. I've been down that road. I don't want you going down that road.
People have to learn their own stuff, their own mistakes.
No, I don't think so.
It's all the.
I think you're being stubborn right now as you speak for it like that.
So I know the mistakes my father learned in his life.
Would you like if you weren't so lucky,
Yeah.
to have the nice job that you have, and have the good father and mother and all the good family all around you, basically have everything you could need or want, If you weren't so lucky by the grace of God that you have, and you were, let's say you were a down and out, if you want, I'm not describing people as down and outs, but I'm just saying, if you were a down and out, and you were someone was on drugs, or you were someone was an alcoholic, would you like someone to reach out to you and say, Dean, look, you've gone far enough for this now. I'd like to help you here, right? You're saying people should help themselves. There's people out there that can't.
What I'm saying is the mistakes of my father are not necessarily mine to learn from.
Sometimes you can, yes.
No, it's not. Absolutely, sometimes
That's
you can.
your opinion.
Yeah,
now, that
so my opinion
that you
is,
have, you're
my
entitled
opinion
to it.
is
No
the
one can take
mistakes
it away
of my
from you.
father aren't necessarily all mine to learn from. They were his mistakes. I need to make my own mistakes.
No, you're right about certain parts of that. Supposing you make the same mistakes your father made, would you not have liked your father to step up to the mark previous and say, Dean, hold on, you're going down the wrong road there. I've been down that road. I don't want you going down that road. And then you turn out to be a better person, a wiser and a smarter person on a better track. Wouldn't that mean that he just saved you from going down the wrong road that he went down previously?
Yeah, but if that was the case, my father and his father and his father and his father going all the way back.
It doesn't matter.
Just hold on, let me just get this idea in my head.
Go on. Hopefully I can help you as well, help you recover. Go on.
Let's say my father and his father before him, his father before him. So let's go 10 back, yeah?
Yes.
All their fathers, all the way back.
Yes.
And you have the original fella, 10 fathers back, and he made all the mistakes.
Yes.
And he told the next fella, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't put your hand in there because it'll get bitten off.
And
by
he
the
done
wolf. And the next fella went, you know what, I'm going to take his advice. And then he made some mistakes, and he told the next fella. So there's a list of 100 things that you shouldn't do.
We'll say 10 things.
And my dad gets that list off his father going, here's what all your great-grandfathers and all that, here's all the mistakes that they made. Now go off and be a great man. Yeah?
I think you're acting crazy.
But that's what you're suggesting.
Heck? I'm not suggesting. I didn't suggest 10 grandfathers.
I suggested that.
I suggest it's enough.
Taking advice off somebody before you have to make your own
it's
mistakes.
enough to come from one person. Now, if two persons told you, you're definitely doing something wrong. Yeah? So you're going back 10 grandfathers.
Great-grandfathers
That
and all
means
that.
you wouldn't be living your own life, then you're living 10 grandfathers' lives. So that's impossible.
Oh, I had an idea there. I suppose that's where the 10 Commandments might have come from, was Jesus' mistakes.
Jesus didn't make no mistakes.
Well, where did they come up with the 10 Commandments?
Jesus is divine. He didn't make no mistakes.
Where did they come up with the 10 Commandments?
He came up, he came with...
Who wrote the 10 Commandments?
God the Father gave the 10 Commandments, right?
To who?
See, the story with the 10 Commandments, right, is they were to advise people, stay away from this.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes, that's right.
Here's 10
But
things you
it doesn't
shouldn't
mean
do.
Here, sure, this minute I can write things that you shouldn't do. It doesn't mean I made the mistakes. You see,
what would you write down?
What we're talking about.
What would you write down?
I say, keep your mouth closed. You never stop talking. You keep interrupting. You keep destroying good conversations.
The 10 Commandments.
When a person is on a run, you keep going with it.
How did they come up with the 10 Commandments?
The thing about the story with the 10 Commandments is, right, it wasn't that somebody wrote them and the person done wrong with the 10 Commandments. This was saying to you, look, these are the rules. If you obey by these rules, you'll have a good life.
How did they know they were the rules?
Because they knew what was right and what was wrong.
How did they know what was right and what was wrong? I'm getting in behind that. How did they know? They must have done it and went, that's wrong.
No.
They must have murdered somebody.
No.
Somebody must have murdered somebody and went, oh, that's wrong.
They're saying is, don't do this, don't do that. It doesn't mean, like, Dean, here, say if I've never cycled a bike in my life, yeah, and you're getting on a bike, you know how to cycle, Dean, you're going to fall off that bike. You've heard the one about, look, Daddy, no hands.
Yeah.
Look, Daddy, no what?
Somebody somewhere had to have done something for them to go, we better write down as a commandment.
It was teaching people to walk on the straight and narrow. Like, when a wrong is a wrong, no matter how you look at it. But that is
But you don't know it's wrong until you do it, and then you realise that's wrong.
Right then, if a wise man that never made a mistake, yeah, I'm not saying nobody ever makes mistakes. If a wise man just say that never made mistakes, and he has it all, yeah, and he's done everything right through his life, yeah, and he's living a good example in his life, yeah, and people know about him and say, look, gee, he is, they think he's perfect, kind of, you know, and this man decides to give you a bit of advice because you're acting to ease you up and down the roads, that doesn't mean the wrong that you're doing, he sees the wrong you're doing. That doesn't mean he done that wrong, but he's advising you not to do that wrong. So just because you write something on a paper and say, here, Dean, take that. Don't do that, Dean. Don't do this. Don't do that. Doesn't mean he done that wrong. So you're suggesting that the person that wrote these 10 Commandments is the person that was...
I'm asking a question. How did they know that was wrong? How did they know... Like, what's the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not kill.
If you were never, yes.
Do you know the 10 Commandments?
If you were never, let's say, an intelligent person, yeah, sure, your instincts tell you what's right or wrong anyway. Like, you were doing the cycle yesterday, right? Did you think you were doing something good or bad?
It was good.
How did you know you were doing good?
I was enjoying it.
Just because you were enjoying it. It was not for recovery, for to help other people, no? So you didn't do it for other people's benefits then? You're serious?
100%, yeah.
All right, so basically the recovery of Ballymun means nothing to you then? Is that what you're telling me?
Me getting out on the bike was why I done it. They done it for their recovery.
Yeah.
Their recovery is not my journey. That's their journey.
No, I understand that. But are you not trying to support people at the same time?
Encourage them, yeah. But if I didn't want to get up and cycle, I wouldn't have done it.
So do you need encouragement to do that?
No, I just told myself.
You don't. So would you not encourage other people to do it? No.
They can encourage themselves.
See, there again, this is selfish Dean. I'm going to call you selfish Dean anymore. Right? Whoever listens to this podcast now knows you as selfish Dean.
I'm just picking apart
because
your ridiculous ideas that one man's mistakes should be passed down to his son so he never makes mistakes.
No, I didn't say that. I'm going to rectify that for you now, right? I did not say one man's mistakes is the son's mistakes.
No, they should be passed down so his sons don't make them.
Or should be passed on. No. It's knowledge. You can pass on knowledge. Sometimes we don't have to have the hand out all the time, expecting to get a check in the hand, like a big payment here for just to advise somebody or to give a person knowledge on something. So therefore, if I say to you, Dean, look at me, your father, yeah, has been down a bad road. I'm not saying, we're using it as an example here. And he turns around and says to you, Dean, I've been down that road, don't go down that road. Does that not save you from going down a bad road? Like, for instance, you have a father and son there, right? I'm only just suggesting these things. I'm not saying anyone in particular, right? And the father has, let's say, been in trouble parts of his life. He's been in and out of jail sometimes in his life. And he sees this up-and-coming young lad, yeah? And he's making one little mistake, then he makes another little mistake. So the father calls him aside. Again, and this is about 3 times I explained this to you, but you seem to be ticked as you can't understand this, right? The father calls him aside and says to him, look, son, hold on for 1 second. You're doing something there that's going to get you in trouble. The other thing you're doing there, I've been down this road. I've been in prison. I've been in trouble. I don't want you going down that road. So with a bit of luck, the young lad takes the advice and changes his attitude and changes his ways of life and goes down a different direction, a better direction. Then down the line, sometimes he turns and says to the father, look, thanks very much for your advice. I was going down the wrong road. I was getting with the wrong people. I was doing the wrong things. I would have ended up in prison if it wasn't for you telling me that. So he opened up the son's eyes, you see. And as I said again, by the grace of God, the son takes the advice and he goes down a better road. And he's a happier young lad. And the father is a happier man because the young lad listened to him and made the right decisions and took the right road. It's about sometimes giving advice. You're reaching out to somebody and telling them something or advising them about something. You can, let's say, you can revive them or you can keep them from going on a bad road.
Yes, but I think part
But
of
you
it is
said to
about...
me, it's up to everybody themselves, and they have to make their own decisions.
But part of it is
Obviously.
part of it is about the relationship. Let's say you and your son, you've got a good relationship. If you advise him on something, he's going to take it on board because you've got a good relationship. If you don't have a good relationship and someone who tries to give you advice, you're going to go, I'm not interested in listening to you.
Yeah, that's attitude.
What
Bad
do you mean?
attitude. That's bad attitude.
That if I
That's
don't
ignorance.
if I don't have a good relationship with somebody and they're trying to give me advice, are you saying that I have attitude?
You see, the thing about it is, yes, I still think it's attitude because they can't be so bad if they're still giving you advice and want you to make the right decision and go down the right roads.
Well, I've been given advice by loads of people all my life, good, bad, and ugly. That doesn't mean I take everybody's advice on everything.
No, that's right. We're not saying take everybody's advice.
So what I'm saying is, it's about the relationship between the people. If I'm giving a younger fella some advice and we don't have any relationship and he doesn't know me from anybody, or I'm giving him advice and we just don't get on, the likelihood is he's not going to take that advice. So if the relationship is strong and good, there's a better chance that you'll take heed of somebody's advice.
Yeah, but sometimes it mightn't be about the relationship. Sure, a stranger can give you advice, and it could be the best advice that you ever got in your lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and it all depends if you take it on board. Yes.
And then the other bit I was
So
thinking
I don't
about
think
was,
it's anything to do with relationship.
so let's say you have somebody and they're giving you advice, but they're doing the exact thing that they're telling you not to do. You're going to look at them going, you're crazy, give me advice. That's what you're up to. Why would I take advice off a person who's doing the thing that they're telling me not to do?
It would be crazy, yeah. It would be crazy on the youthful side of it, and in the lack of understanding, basically. Back where we were earlier on about a person who's an alcoholic.
You're telling me not to put my hand in the fire, and you're putting your hand in the fire.
Yeah, that's why I said to you, sometimes a fool's advice is the best advice. Sometimes it is.
You have a great way of looking at it, Martin. It's very interesting. One is that fool's advice is good advice, and then take advice. Sometimes we take advice from a stranger.
Take advice from a person that's been down that road. And the other thing about you said about the relationship, it doesn't have to be a relationship. Anyone can give anybody advice.
So there's the question: who would you not take advice off?
Who would I not take advice off?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, if I was getting good advice, I'd take it off anybody.
How would you know it's good advice?
You have to be sort of trying to judge yourself. And
so you'd use your own intuition and your own feeling.
Yes. Common sense would tell you.
So let's say your common sense told you this is shite advice.
Then don't use it.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. If it's advice, just because it's advice doesn't mean you have to take it. Because it might be ridiculous.
I'm not saying take everybody's advice. I am saying is, if a person gives you good advice, by the grace of God, your eyes might open up and say, yes, I'll take his advice. I'm hopefully going down the right tracks. It's not about everybody's advice is good. It's about, obviously, about getting the right advice, naturally, yes, of course.
Here's another one, right?
Sure,
let's say two people gave you different advice. Let's say one person said do it, and the other person said don't do it. What would you do?
You have to definitely make up your own mind in between. 1,000,000%.
And you have to do your own thing.
You have, but at the same time, if one person told you yes, another person said no, and you're confused, naturally you won't take time to think and hold it. I'm going to go with this person here because I think he's right.
How would you? Yeah, which person did you go with there?
The person that you think is best for your benefits.
How would you know?
Your instincts is going to tell you.
That's what I'm saying. Going back to your own instincts, your own intuition,
you have to rely
your
on your
gut
instincts.
feeling.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. If my father makes a mistake and he gives me advice, I still need to follow my gut feeling on it. And my gut feeling might be go with my father's advice, but my gut feeling also might be just do your own thing here and learn your own lessons.
Yes, I suppose some people can be like that. Why would a person not want to accept good advice from somebody? Because you seem to be that type of person. You come across to me as that type of person.
No,
like you want to make it all on your own here. Like.
I'm bringing it back to the 10 Commandments. And with the 10 Commandments, we were given 10 bits of advice. Here's the rules. Here's the laws. Here's how you play the game. Thou shalt not kill. Do you know the 10 Commandments? I asked you that a few minutes ago. Is the 10 Commandments only in Catholicism?
They can refer to... Look, I think the 10 Commandments refers to the whole world, to be honest about. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. And if the 10 Commandments telling you 10 serious things not to do in this life, I think there's something that should be took on board very serious. So you're trying to be tricking about what's right and what's wrong and who really
I'm
didn't.
not. I'm
It's
honestly
happening.
not trying to
Dean,
trick you.
Not up here this evening, my friend.
I'm not honestly not trying to trick you. I'm just trying to tease it out in terms of
Is it not enough
who
to
do
know?
we listen to and where do we get our information from and
Well, listen
what
to-
path do we go down? And I'm linking it back to recovery.
Well, if you don't know what's right and what's wrong, and you're 50 years of age,
I'm not saying
then
what I
there's a
don't
problem
know.
there, isn't there?
I'm not saying I don't know what's right and what's wrong. What I'm saying is, whose advice do we take?
If I said to you, Dean, don't steal, is that right or wrong?
I've stolen before.
But is it right or wrong?
I don't know. I don't see it like that. I don't see it as right
So you
or
don't
wrong.
see no wrong in stealing?
No, I don't see it as right or wrong. I just see it as the thing you do.
No, you're only complicating your own brain. That's all you're doing tonight. I'm saying a simple question to you. Is stealing right or wrong? If you ask a 3-year-old child, tell you the answer to that.
Stealing
Do it.
is wrong.
It's wrong, yes.
Yeah.
Say fighting. Is fighting good or bad?
It depends on what you're fighting for.
Well,
Like,
I know there's fighters out there getting well paid for them.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're fighting in a ring and you're earning $1 million for every punch.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, Dean, there's loads of things that's right, loads of things that's wrong. And if you don't know right from wrong, whoa, you need to see is a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or who's a psychiatrist?
There's a very interesting question. Is being an alcoholic right or wrong?
It's an interesting question.
I know, that's why I'm throwing it at you.
But it mightn't be a right or wrong because it mightn't be a choice that somebody fell into.
Very good answer. So stealing mightn't be right or wrong because it might be something that you had to do.
But stealing is still wrong.
Oh, let's go. Just
Because
go
you're
back.
taking something-
Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah, go back
if a
to the
man
alcohol.
needs to feed his family,
Yes.
you said this on this podcast
Yeah,
a couple of
go
months
on.
ago.
Yes.
If a man needs to steal to feed his family,
And he has no money.
should he go and do it?
If he's really left with no options, I'm not saying he should steal. If he's down to the last option,
Yeah.
and that option is walking into a shop and picking up a bit of food and putting it in a bag for his family, I don't think he's doing anything wrong.
So you're totally contradicting
I
yourself.
am contradicting, yes. I'm
So
contradicting.
life is full of.
I'm contradicting
My point
it.
is life
No,
is
you
full of
listen.
contradictions.
Yeah, you have to listen now also. The contradiction comes under different circumstances.
Yeah, so it depends on the circumstances.
Dean, if you were walking by a stall and you're starving with the hunger and you haven't got a penny in your pocket and you know when I make 3 more steps I'm going to collapse with hunger, and you're walking by a stall and there's nice hot buns or something left out there, would you pick up one and eat it?
I would, yeah.
Yes, anybody would.
So is thou
Anybody
shalt
would.
not steal? Is that one
Because
of the
by the
commandments?
grace of God, that was put in front of you.
Is that one of the commandments? Thou shalt not steal.
Yes. Well, I tell you what I would do. I'd say I'd lift it first and take a bite out of it and tell your man, say, look, I'm going to pay for this tomorrow or next day.
So it could say, thou shalt not steal unless you need to steal.
No, it doesn't go that far, you see. They make these scriptures nice and neat.
Yeah, so I'm saying they could add that on.
No, they couldn't, because I tell you why.
They're already written.
We could add something else on, and something
Yeah,
else on.
yeah.
But there's certain things, right, you have to, let's say you have to use your imagination for and bring yourself to that understanding.
So
You know in your heart, if I wasn't in this situation, basically I've tried everything I can try. There's no friends giving me help here. There's no one absolutely else I can turn to. But yes, I'm hungry, my family is hungry. I need to do something here to feed that family. But that's not to say that you won't pay them back at a later stage. You're
I'm
clearing the
going to
debt.
rewrite it. Here we go. Thou shalt not
You're
steal
clearing the
unless
debt.
your family is starving,
No, you're
and then
clearing
you
the
can
debt,
bring them back the
and
money
you
the
still
next
haven't
week.
got a stealing on your list. So you're borrowing. You really are borrowing.
So thou shalt not steal, but you
Once
can
you
borrow.
go back and pay for it, you're borrowing.
Here's a big one, right? Are you ready? Thou shalt not kill unless somebody is attacking your family and you're defending your family.
No one states that you can kill, but you are allowed to protect yourself and your family. Naturally, I'm saying you're allowed to protect yourself.
But at the same time, thou shalt not kill. So
You
it's a
can-
contradiction.
Thou shalt not kill, but you are allowed to protect your family and yourself and your family. Yes, absolutely, and do everything in your power to protect them.
So it's about the circumstance. It's about the situation that you're in. You know what I mean? Every situation is different, and that's why we have courts
Well, let's put it this way.
where
What would you
everyone's
do with
treated on an individual basis.
what would you do with a drunken man if he came around your door and he was looking for trouble and wanted to argue or fight with you and calling you names and one to another?
I tell him to push on.
Would you fight with him?
I'd try and avoid fighting with him.
You would. Very good. If you were in a pub now and you were sitting down and this lad came over and he was annoying your head and doing your head in, would you fight with him or would you tell him good luck?
If he was drunk, I'd try and avoid fighting with him.
Yeah.
If he wasn't drunk, I'd tell him a few words to shut him up. And if he didn't listen, you're in an interesting point there. Do you head out? Do you back up? Or do you fight him?
So would you use the opportunity to fight him because he's drunk and because he's a blackguard or that, would you?
No, I generally try and avoid any situation where I have to fight.
Would you try to help him out and sort of advise him, tell him, look, you're in the wrong place here. Get yourself a taxi home or something like that there.
Yeah, if that worked, it'd be great.
I think so, yeah. I think it'd be the best method, like. On the other hand, you'd have to be, of course, careful and watch out for yourself because you don't know what the circumstances might be like, you know. Yeah, but I don't think they need to beat him up or attack him, like, or as you said, defend yourself, but it doesn't mean you actually have to hurt the other person. You can defend yourself, let's say get yourself and your family into a safe environment, if you like, and let that person be on about his business kind of thing. What do? Do you go out there and defend yourself but also fight with him at the same time? Which is the best thing? If you're meant to be protecting your family, would it mean getting your family into a safe spot or would it mean going out there fighting with him?
Yeah, I think it's about what options are available to you. If you don't have the option to protect your family or get them into a safe place and there's somebody coming to attack you,
you have to, yeah.
You have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Self-defense. So it's interesting. You're like, I know thou shalt not kill, but it happens. One of the reasons that commandment is there is because it happens. Thou shalt not steal is there because people steal. And sometimes people have to steal. Sometimes people have to kill. Sometimes people have to do the thing that you know ideally you shouldn't do. Yeah. But you have to do it. How do you know what the right steps are until you take the wrong step? If we knew all the right steps to take and we took all the right steps, should we be all perfect then? That's just not the way life is. Sometimes you know the right thing to do and you just don't do it.
Yeah, some people do that, yeah.
I'm going to say you do it as well. I'm going to say in your life, you've known the right thing to do and you haven't done it.
I like to think that I am doing the right thing in any circumstance. I'm not saying that I haven't made bad decisions in my life, because I'm almost certain that everybody makes mistakes and makes bad decisions. But I'd like to think that I make the right decisions, by the grace of God. This recovery cycle, yeah? Who is it helping and who is it benefiting? Was it a charity run?
So the one that we done on Saturday, there's a group that regularly meets twice a week and they cycle from Ballymun and they go off up to the Knoll and Drogheda and all that, yeah? And there's maybe about 15 or 20 people meet. And then this one the other day, there was about 45 of us, a bigger group. And it was more just to go, let's all get out together and cycle up to Drogheda for a 100-kilometre cycle.
So it was just a get-together, is that it?
Yeah, just to mark the recovery month and to have like a celebration.
Yeah, we know the people that were cycling.
Yeah.
Were they addicts or were they alcoholics or were they...
Most of them would be in recovery. Some of them were just mates of theirs, people helping out. Or I went and my brother went. A mate of mine came along.
So there was people in it that was... that
are in recovery,
were in recovery. Oh, yeah, it makes sense now if that's what it was all about, like, yeah. And the other cycle then was for a charity run, yeah?
Rave and Ride. It wasn't more charity, it was more just fundraising in the community. You could call it charity, I suppose. People were giving money for the young people in Ballymun.
So was it just the money that was raised, just the money that the people gave to cycle? Or did outsiders come in and donate there, like?
Some people didn't cycle and they gave money. Some people cycled and didn't give money.
Very good. What about the shops and the big stores, all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like...
did anyone contribute to it? I
think it was the first year that we ran it, so it was only... We just wanted to get it done and keep it simple.
I just thought as a community, like, they might help each other out kind of in that sense, like.
People in this community give... One thing I noticed was that working class communities like this give a lot to charities. I remember talking to a fella, he was collecting for Amnesty International or something like that, or Barnardo's, and he was knocking around the houses. And I said to him, you know, you're in like a poor working class community and you're knocking on doors and you're asking relatively poor people for money for other poor people. And he says, yeah, but what we've learned is poor people give more.
I think that is the case sometimes.
So we're knocking around these areas to get money.
What he's saying is the rich won't help the poor. The poor help the poor.
Poor help the poor.
I think he's right about that.
Yeah, I found that very interesting.
You know why that's interesting? Why do you think that's interesting? Tell me.
Well, poor people understand the struggles of poverty.
The poor person knows what it's like to be poor, so they know the next person. They know their feelings. They know their let's say their ways of life, if you like. They know what they're feeling. They know what they're going through.
Yeah, so what blew my mind was these organisations a lot of the time are being set up by middle class people.
Yeah.
To knock around working class people's doors to ask for money for other working class people. I think that's mental. Because it's not working class people setting up these organisations
So
like Amnesty International and Barnardo's and whatever.
Are you saying they're asking the poor people for money to give to the people who need it?
To do it very simply, rich people are setting up organisations to ask poor people for money for other poor people.
Yeah. You know that charity shop, you know...
That might be an oversimplification, but that's how I see it.
Sometimes that's the case. The St. Vincent de Paul's, you know that's privately run, don't you?
What do you mean, like?
Not the organisation itself.
The shops.
Do you know some of the shops? Some of the shops are privately owned.
How do you know that?
I know it. I'm not going to tell you who told me this.
So do you mean somebody sets it up as a business?
You can set up
like a franchise.
St. Vincent de Paul shop. You can set up 10 of them if you want to. And you have to give a certain amount of commission from that shop to the St. Vincent de Paul organisation.
So it's like a franchise, like McDonald's. I can set up a McDonald's or a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
And you have to give a certain amount of money. The people that own the shops are raking in massive money every month. And I'm talking about big money every month. They are allowed to put whatever prices they want. Say if there's clothes, shoes, whatever comes into that shop, and almost everything is donated to them shops. Like you can pull outside one of them shops, open the boot of your car, and take out shoes, clothes, toys, whatever you have, you can give to them. They can put any price they want on that stuff when they put it on the rails, say, to sell out again. There's no limit to what prices they can put them on.
Yeah, once people
everything,
are willing
remember
to buy
this, everything is donated to them shops. So there's a big let's say there's a big money rotation involved in it.
So is that are you saying that's a bad thing or a good thing?
No, it's not a good thing on one side. It's a good thing on the side of St. Vincent de Paul's. Let's say they do the best for people. The guys that owns the shops, they're raking in all the money. It's all for them.
Sure, why wouldn't they? They're running a business though.
A lot of these shops are what you call also the volunteer works in them. They'll have a manager. They'll have a manager already who gets paid.
Yeah.
But if there's 3 or 4 more people working there, it's all voluntary work. Yeah.
And you're saying they're volunteering. So they're getting clothes for free. They're paying a bit of money to the Vincent de Paul.
Yeah.
But they're taking all the rest of the profits.
Yes. But the moral of the story is, it's supposed to be a charity shop where people can go in and buy second-hand clothes or shoes, whatever they want, that's affordable to them. They can't afford it because this is a business now.
Charities are businesses.
Yes.
That's what they're set up for.
The charity shops are businesses, yes.
No, not just charity shops. Charities are businesses. People set up charities as businesses.
Yeah, but don't forget, some charities are great because they will...
And some charities are gangsters.
No, some charities are great because they will help out the people they're meant to help out. They'll do the thing that they're meant to do. But when you have shops, on the other hand, run by private owners...
Yeah, but there was loads of charities in this country, like Rehab and a few other ones, that were paying their bosses like 150 grand a year and creaming off all the profits. But then saying, but we're a charity. Which is our charity making a bleeding shitload of money. You
cannot be a charity if you're taking every last cent out of someone's pocket who can barely afford it.
There's loads of them doing it in this country. People are suckers for it. People go, I'm giving money to them and I'm giving money to them, and yeah, every month I send off 20 quid to this, that and the third. What they don't realise in the background is there's people being paid big wages. Because in Ireland we're great at giving. Like you often see the Late Late Show, and we're raising money for this, that, and the third.
Best, yeah, the best. Absolutely.
But it's hard to know exactly where that money goes, and I think in the last couple of years, people are starting to lose trust a little bit in where the money goes because.
But the good thing about Irish people is that they still know, regardless of where that money goes to, they still know they've done their part.
Yeah, and
they've done their bit.
And what I'm saying is that some people take advantage of that.
That's right.
Here's these Irish people who will give whatever we ask them to give, and they won't ask the questions, where's the money gone
That's
to?
right, they won't. Which is good, because they're giving it, obviously, they're giving it with
But it's also not good because they're blindly giving money
but it's good
into
for
a
the-
charity.
It's good for the person. But you see, the thing about it is, the way they probably see it is, if we sort of give heed to that and don't take chances, the reality is that there is people starving on the far sides of the world, certain parts of the world, and
People starving on this side of the world as
no,
well.
we understand that. It's everywhere. We talked about this before. It's poverty everywhere, all over the whole world. But if a person still wants to do something from the goodness of their hearts, they're not going to let that stop them. They're not going to question how much this person gets, or how much that person gets, or where does this money go to, or who does it go, how much of it do they receive. They know in their hearts they've done their part. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think that's good
And
enough.
they're
though.
happy enough with that.
I don't think that's good enough.
Yeah,
let's
probably-
say if you felt
it's
great
probably
for
not-
giving 20 quid, right? And then a month later I came back on, see that 20 quid you gave? Only 5 cents of that actually went to somebody.
Yeah, that's right. That'd be disgraceful.
But you still feel great about it.
Well, let's put it this way. For the last, say for the last 25 years now, I throw a few bob on a card every single week. I'm not saying how much I give or how much I don't. I give what I can afford. But the point about it is, I don't question where that goes to.
So let's say
As far as I'm concerned, I know where it goes to. And this is why I earlier on, I said, when I say I don't question now. I did question one time when I heard that they only receive, if you throw 20 euros, you say, they receive about 2 euros of it. So just out of curiosity, what happened was I was ordering a new card, and I just said to them out of curiosity, I said, you know that few bob I throw in there, so obviously they have it on screen. I said, at the end of the year, I said, how much of that goes to the people that it needs to go to? They said, we take about a cent out of every 10 euros. But I don't think it was true.
do you think they were lying to you?
I sort of do, yeah, I did. I have to say, I did think it, yeah.
So let's say if you were doing that all year, and then in the newspaper you picked up on Monday morning saying whatever the name of the charity is, that their bosses were paying themselves 150 grand a year, and they were also using some of their money to pay for their business trips and holidays.
Crazy. It is crazy
It's
because
happening all over the place, especially in this country.
I know just where you come from. Would you do it again, basically? I would. I'd continue to do what I'm doing. I don't give a big lot. I give what I can afford. And they always say every little helps anyway. But I'm like 25 years doing this now. So I'm not going to stop doing that. Because
So if I said to you, if the newspaper comes in on the Monday morning and you're reading it there, right, and you're sitting down there with your wife and you're reading through it and you're like, look at this, the headline news, that charity that I give the money to for the last 25 years, the boss has been paying himself 150 grand a year, and actually less than half of the money that anybody ever gave to this charity was spent. Would you continue to give them the money?
it'd be, I know it sounds foolish. It's a good question because I'd say
Because that has happened in this country.
Yeah.
And not just once or twice.
No, but it's
5
a
or 6 or 10
well-known,
times.
it's a let's say it's a well-established charity.
The ones I'm talking about, like rehab, they're huge charities.
Concern now is one of the biggest. It is one of the biggest organisations.
Yeah,
out
and
there.
some of the biggest ones in Ireland with the longest and the best history and the highest profile and the biggest names associated with it. We're also doing it. We're also ripping off and spending the money that people gave in on themselves. I like to do stuff rather than to give. You know what I mean? I'd rather spend me time doing stuff than spend me money doing stuff.
Yeah, well, people have different ways of doing things. I understand that.
Yeah.
For me now, if I was to stop now, just say tomorrow, for instance, and something come in and told me, don't use that card no more. Don't be throwing your free bob into that every week anymore. I can't stop that because my conscience is telling me what I'm doing is the right thing. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm actually feeling good about it. If I'm helping somebody out in a small way in that sense.
It's not about you, though.
No, but I'm saying it's not about me. 1,000,000% not about me. But I still feel good about doing it. I'll give you an example, right? One time, it's a long, long time ago, right? And this sort of, I have to say, it sort of annoyed me, to be honest with you. There was a charity back in 1998, right? And they were doing do you remember the Late Late Show? They were doing a fundraising for a certain incident that happened back in 1998, yeah? So I was actually watching the Late Late Show, and I think back then it was Gay Byrne, was it? It was, let's say, for a great, great cause. I decided next day, look, I'm going to get out, and I'm going to start doing a bit of work, and I'm going to save every cent I have for the next, say, so many weeks. And I'm going to go in and going to give it to that charity, basically. Just something came over me, like, you know what I mean? And again, as I said, I felt good about it also. So I did. I worked really, really hard for about 3 weeks. Solid. Let's say I pushed myself over the edge, if you like. And I put together every cent that I came across through that work, basically, that I was doing, yeah? When I got £1,000, it wasn't euros back then, it was pounds at the time. And I got £1,000, and I said, now I have to go and put this into the charity, because what happened was I got the details from the television on that night, basically. I didn't want anyone to know I was doing this. I just went silently and done it. So I got the £1,000, I went into the bank in Finglas, and I said to the people behind the counter, I said, I want to put this into the charity for such and such, yeah? So I put the £1,000 in anyway, and they gave me out, say, the receipt, okay? So that was, I never told anybody I'd done this. And of course I went home and I put the receipt away, didn't I? But about, could be anytime to maybe a week, 2 weeks later, when I seen on the headlines, Daniel O'Donnell, the country singer, yeah? The millionaire, basically, yeah? Daniel O'Donnell donates £1,000
He was all over the news.
to the same cause, and I could not believe my two eyes what I was seeing. I have to say that I did call him some names.
Did you, yeah?
I was raging, to be honest with you, because...
You broke your back every day for a couple of weeks.
But it wasn't even about that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, this is no lies. I done everything in my power to get that money together to put towards that cause. Because it's something I felt good about.
Do you not know the 11th commandment? Thou shalt not be jealous of Daniel O'Donnell giving €1,000.
No, I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you what annoyed me was that the fact that I completely struggled to get this few pounds, yeah, to put in for the charity.
And he just had it lying around underneath the pillow.
No, I was very, very happy about this. But he could have doubled this 25 times if he wanted to. And I knew this. Here was I trying to keep this quiet. Never told one person.
He was putting it all over the RTE radio.
Watch this. Never told one person, only my wife, right?
Yeah.
Never even told anybody. The only person that after that knew I was putting that money in there was the person inside the bank. And as I said, about a week, probably 2 weeks later, here I was, and I spotted the newspaper. Come here. Daniel O'Donnell has been praised for donating £1,000 to this particular cause, yeah? It was good. Obviously good. But why the heck was he looking for praises for starters? And why the heck did he not throw in more than £1,000?
And why were you begrudging him the praise?
I wasn't begrudging him the praise. You're not listening.
You said you were calling him every name under the sun.
No, I didn't. I was only joking. I was being sarcastic. I was not begrudging him the praise. What annoyed me most of all was that I knew that he could have afforded to put a lot more money towards this cause if he wanted to.
But he's probably giving charity. He's probably giving money to charity every week.
It's possible. Why is he not on the paper every week then? If he was giving it every week, he'd be on the paper every week.
What if it was Martin Stokes, amazing traveller man from Ballymun?
I wouldn't want that. No, I didn't want it. I didn't want to know that I done this.
So what was it? You think he could have given 20 times that amount of money?
Yeah, because he was filthy rich. I was filthy poor. Yeah. Yeah. So,
but there's something inside you went, see him.
Something inside me told me I was doing the right thing, and I did do the right thing.
But something inside you
I
also
know I did the right thing up to this day. What annoyed me was, again, I explained myself earlier on, was the fact that, number one, he looked for publicity for such a small money for such a rich man, and number two, he could have given a lot more and just forget about the publicity. Forget about that part of it.
So part of that is...
No, I'm not saying he was a selfish man, but he did annoy me.
You should do stuff without looking for the praise or the feeling. Because sometimes we do stuff, and you said this a few minutes ago, and we're all guilty of it, is we do something for somebody else, but we get the feeling, we pat ourselves on the back going, well done, and we get a good feeling.
No, it's not even that. Not about patting yourself on the back. I'll tell you what the good feeling is. The good feeling is knowing that you helped somebody else out, that you've done something good for them. So you're going to get that natural good feeling. You say, look, I'm happy with it.
But that's not your motivation. You're not doing it for
No, the
good
motivation
feeling.
was that the person that you actually helped needed help.
Yeah.
That was the motivation. And if everyone thinks that somebody else is going to help, somebody else will help, somebody else will help, you see, and nobody helps, that means they haven't received any help. So if you wait, it's like seeing an old drunken fella on the street there, God bless them, yeah? And you're passing by, he's sitting on the street there, he needs help to get up, and you're passing him by because you say, I know someone else will help him. Somebody else mightn't help him. You might be the person that's there to help him. You might be the only person that's going to help him. If you pass by him, another 10 might pass by him. So you can't always assume that somebody else is going to do that. You have to think for yourself, and hopefully it's to think right. And if you do your little part, it might encourage somebody else. Like I encouraged John O'Donnell without realising it.
He done something for somebody else and then dragged in a bleeding camera crew to take a picture of him.
Yeah. I would love to be,
Daniel.
I would love to be behind that camera, yeah. And now front of it behind it.
So come here.
was the crack anyway.
What's the story with your phone? Yeah, have a little burner there.
Is that what you call a burner, is it?
That's a burner, yeah. Show us it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, throw it over to us.
I tell you, by the looks of that
Throw
phone...
it over there.
No, I was just no, I won't.
Go on, throw it over.
I will not.
What's the name of it?
By the looks of that phone, I'm the one that needs charity now.
What's it called?
Alcatel, yeah.
Ah,
Cheapest.
Give us a look. Give us a look of it.
Anyone out there that has any good phones lying around?
What happened to your phone?
Could you please pass me on a good phone? I'm stuck
Because
with
I told you what happened
Alcatel.
to mine a couple of weeks ago. I left it on top of a fella's car.
Yeah, that was a very stupid thing to do.
Yeah, but
And the same day we were talking about stupidity, we were talking about selfishness, yeah. And it's only when I went home, yeah, I realised that I should have hit
you should have
Dean.
said A, B, and C.
I should have said, because you were actually contradicting the stupidity. Do you remember that?
How do you do that?
You were contradicting, how can a person be so stupid? Does a person not know when they're stupid?
Yeah.
The same day you left your phone on top of the car, a person was asking you for instructions, yeah? You took their phone and showed them how to use their own phone.
Yeah.
You left your phone on top of their car, and next you went looking for your phone when they came back 10 minutes after with a broken phone.
I tried to ring my own
Where it
phone,
fell
but I
off
had
the
no
roof.
phone to ring.
Now, that was stupidity.
What happened to your phone?
That was a perfect example of stupidity.
I have no problem being stupid.
Yeah, but at the same time, you were the one who was criticising
Tell
us.
me what happened to your phone.
I
and
was
be honest.
stupid. I was being stupid.
What happened? Go on.
My phone fell on the ground and broke. It fell from my pocket.
And smashed.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
It fell on the ground, yeah. It got damaged. That's why it's in the shop getting fixed.
I think it fell down the toilet or something.
Why have you got such an interest in my phone? Tell me that. Are you buying me one? Are you going to take pity on me and buy me a phone, yeah?
Look at them.
Or are you going to say
I'm
to
going
me,
to take
no,
a picture of Martin's burner.
Are you going to say I have a good phone left on the shelf, I'm going to bring it in tomorrow to you, yeah?
What's on that phone? There's just texts.
Just a few numbers. I even lost your number, thank God. Didn't have it until you rang me, yeah?
I had a few days of a bit of silence.
Yeah. Something I told you, see his phone, it's actually great. Because when I have my own phone, I'm going through everything.
You're going constantly on WhatsApp.
I reckon
and
it
all
takes
that.
up, at the very lowest, it probably takes up 2 hours of your day without realising it.
So it's a good lesson.
I'm using less Panadol since I have this one, put it that way.
I might get one of them myself.
Less headaches.
Where'd you pick that up?
I have good friends that gave me for a present. It's worth about $5.
Is it, yeah?
I think, Dean, it's a lot of rubbish. It's just about taking a call.
Oh, you wouldn't voice it now?
No, but if you want to swap phones, we can
I'll
switch
give you my
SIMs, and I get your phone.
Happy days.
Is that the same phone that got broken belong to you? Yeah.
I got fixed £100. It's mad, isn't it? My nephew got a phone the other day. It was a flip screen phone, right? And it was something like €1,000 for the phone.
Phones have become a big part of people's lives now, haven't they? Can you honestly manage without a phone? No.
How did you feel? How did you feel the other day when your phone broke?
I knew I wouldn't be able to contact anybody for maybe till the next day or something. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
but did you get that? You know that feeling you get in your gut where you went, oh, my phone.
No, my phone basically, again, I said you'd be lost without your phone, but it's not that important to me. Like,
Because when I smashed my phone, it wasn't as bad as it was before, but I have got those. I have lost my phone or dropped my phone in the toilet or something like that and smashed it.
yeah.
And you get that sinking feeling in your stomach where you're like, the fucking phone's
straight
smashed
up.
up.
Yeah, I don't think I can manage.
So you getting that one fixed? Or you getting a new one?
I have no choice to get it fixed because I can't afford a new one.
Well, how much did you get it fixed?
I'm hoping to do a fundraise to get a phone.
We'll set up a charity. You might be able to hit up Daniel O'Donnell.
Martin and Dean.
St. Martin. We'll set up a St. Martin de Paul.
Has anyone out there got Daniel O'Donnell's number? I'd like to contact him for a bit of support.
and a photo opportunity. St. Martin de Paul we'll set up.
People are so used to phones now that you just should be lost without them. And the other thing, it takes up a lot of time in your day. This WhatsApp thing, if I look at my phone, if I was to knock my phone off for one day now, and basically turn it off and turn it on in the evening, probably anything up to 70 or 80 WhatsApps.
So who's WhatsApping you? I'm WhatsApping you.
Well, I
Who
have
else?
a couple of, let's say I have about 220 contacts on my phone. Let's say not the same people to be WhatsApping you every day. You could get, like, say, within an hour or 2 hours, you could get sometimes 20 or 30 WhatsApps. I'm just saying sometimes, not all the time. But then you might get WhatsApps from different people the next day.
Or I'm in one
So at
group.
the end of that evening, without realising it, you could have maybe 60 or 70 WhatsApps.
I'm in one group and there's some hyper holes in it.
I don't go on groups.
Do you know at all?
No,
Are you in any groups?
I
Any
used to
groups on
be-
WhatsApp?
Yeah, I used to be on the Bible study. There was 2 Bible study groups.
Yeah.
And I used to be on them. And the thing about it was, there was some great people sending in WhatsApp messages and stuff like that. And
then some people putting in, I'm at the
some
feed me
people
cat.
were putting literally everything then.
I'm at the feed me
nonsense.
cat.
Nonsense.
I'm
So
going
by
to
the
put
end of the
petrol in my
evening,
car.
by the end of the evening, if you didn't, if you know how you can turn off your data, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to turn that back on the end of the evening. I remember there was times I'd have like 250, 260 WhatsApps.
Yeah, I'm in
them.
a few groups that I've left, a few groups that I've turned the notifications off, and then there's a new group that I'm in, and there's just some hyper holes in it, and every 20 minutes they're putting in pictures and comments and videos, and I'm going,
nonsense.
lads, come on,
Things
then,
is irrelevant. So I decided I just I delete myself out of the 2 groups. But there were some great people on them, some good WhatsApps. 80% of it was nonsense, stupid.
I would say in a couple of years there's going to be WhatsApp Anonymous.
Do you know when I got the WhatsApp first? Yeah, when I joined them groups. Yeah, I didn't realise that you could actually through the night. Yeah, your phone would be bleeping like, you know how the beep for the WhatsApp lets you know it's
Notifications.
a notification. Yeah, telling you like you just received a WhatsApp.
You can silent them.
But I didn't know that for a long, long time, and it was driving me mad. I tell you, it was driving me completely mad. Almost every night. Now I wouldn't. Like that. Now I wouldn't knock off my phone in case someone was ringing me to get through to me. You see, someone told me one day, "Why don't you knock off your
Knock off all them.
your notifications?" I said, "Come here." I handed him the phone straight away.
Show me how to do that.
They knocked off all the notifications.
If you have a phone, if you're listening to this podcast and you have a phone and you have the notifications turned on anything, right? Turn them all off. I learned that lesson. I remember I'd done a thing, and I'd say for about 2 days, I was probably getting 200 notifications every minute.
Yeah.
And my phone was literally about to explode. And it affected my mental health. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stop thinking about it.
So you didn't know about it, or?
I didn't know how to turn it off. And I understand phones. And my phone was just like bzz, bzz, everything. Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, texts, phone calls.
Well, I learned it after about 353 sleepless nights.
You had that for a year?
And that particular night I got the best sleep of my life.
I think it's so important. If you have your notifications on, one is, okay, so my mum and dad have phones, and I would imagine that they don't know how to turn off the notifications for everything, right? So I can kind of forgive them that. But if you know how a phone works and you have all your notifications on, you need your head tested. You need to cop onto yourself and ask yourself the question, why do I need all these notifications on? You're not that important. Nobody is. The bleeding Pope isn't that important.
No, you're right. I didn't feel important one bit whatsoever. But the point about it is, I didn't know about this. It was a new thing, this WhatsApp
So that's
thing.
what I'm saying to you. I can forgive you that
And then
because you don't know how to use it.
someone learned me after so many sleepless nights. They actually took the phone and knocked it off for me.
All of mine are off.
And I said,
And my
lovely.
phone is constantly on silent.
Yeah.
Like, silent mode is the default mode on my phone. Like for everything, for phone calls, for texts.
Is that why you never answer the phone when I ring you?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll see that you rang me, and
Why would you
when
turn
I have
off
a minute, I'll call you back.
ring your calls? Why would you turn off your calls?
I'll silence everything and turn off all notifications. And if I see that I have a missed call
What's
from
the
somebody,
main reason you would put your phone on silent? Tell me.
For peace of mind and relax,
So what's the use of having a phone then?
because I can call you back when I'm ready.
But that would be peace of mind if you call back. It's peace of mind not answering the phone and getting rid of the call.
No, absolutely not. That's distracting me from other stuff that I'm doing, like lying in my hammock or hanging out with my girlfriend.
But you still take your time to answer, make a call back.
Sometimes if I'm with my girlfriend, right, and you ring me, I'll answer it. But just as I'm answering it, I'm going, why the fuck am I answering this phone call? I need not to do that.
So it's not compulsory to answer the call, like.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. In my life, my phone is on silent.
So
all
you
the
have no
notifications
problem
off.
ignoring your friends by not answering the phone calls? Is that what
I've
you're saying?
no problem doing that whatsoever.
I find that very ignorant.
But that's, you swallow that pill, that's your own
Yeah,
thing.
but I still think you're very ignorant no matter what pill we swallow. That doesn't take away the fact that that's ignorant to ignore people's
So
calls.
if I ring you,
Because if someone's ringing you, they're obviously ringing you for a reason. It's definitely very...
Martin, you ring me for stupid things and you have your...
It's definitely very in a private or, let's say, an important meeting, yeah? You have to turn down your phone. Or you're in mass, or say you have to turn your phone down, yeah?
Or you're hanging out with your
They're very
girlfriend,
important.
or you're driving, or you're
So
in
are
work,
you saying the girlfriend
or you're
won't allow,
sleeping.
Are you saying the girlfriend won't allow you to answer your phone? Is that what
I'm
you're saying to me
saying that
now?
my relationship with my sleep and with my girlfriend is more
So if your
important
girlfriend's-
than anything else.
If your girlfriend's phone rings, will she answer it?
Will she answer it? Depends on what she's up to.
You just said if she's with you.
If she rings my phone, I'll answer.
If she's with you and her phone rings, will she answer it?
Sometimes, mostly not.
Mostly not.
Yeah.
She does answer it, doesn't she? I can tell by the way you're talking.
Sometimes she
No, I
does.
can tell
I
by
do
the
that
way
as well. You rang me the other night,
by the way you're
and
smart
I was
now.
hanging out, and you rang me, and I answered the phone, and I was like, why am I answering this bleeding
I rang
phone?
you to tell you my phone was broke, did I?
I'm ringing you on somebody else's number to tell you that my other phone is broke.
Oh my God.
Turn off your notifications.
Anyway, that's
They're a
still
waste of time.
As I said, I have a bit of peace of mind since the other phone got broke. Because this phone now, I have no one's numbers, no one has... No one hardly rings me. Most of the people do WhatsApp me or send me messages. Did you find something? Did you know as well about the WhatsApp? Yeah, it's after doing away with conversation.
Oh yeah, so somebody will
In
leave
other
you a
words,
voice
if you're-
message or a text rather than ring you for
keep
half an
leaving me
hour.
messages. You don't ring and have a chat like.
Yeah.
But I find that a lot.
Now I
like,
get to talk to you enough, so don't be using me as
No,
an
I'm not
example. I
saying
hook
that.
up with you.
I was
We chat.
What I was trying to say was, I find that now a lot of my contacts, instead of people ringing me, they probably find me a headache anyway, and so I can't blame them in that sense. They just send me a quick WhatsApp, like a message. Before I know it, I'm sending a message back on the WhatsApp. So I'm not ringing out to have a chat or a conversation.
So sometimes it feels like
It's
there's more.
handy in a sense, but it's doing away with conversation.
So it feels like there's more communication happening, but actually,
There's less conversation, yeah, without a doubt. And I'm sure a lot of people probably feel the same way since WhatsApp came out. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that? No.
it cuts out the long conversations. One of the other things is it takes a lot of your attention.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Whatever the thing is you use to communicate, Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever, it takes a lot of your attention throughout the day. Like, I would imagine I check my phone. I wouldn't be surprised it was 50, 60 times a day.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'd be more or less the same way. No, I wouldn't. I won't sit down like and use my phone straight off for an hour or 2 hours at there. I use the phone for a couple of minutes every now and
Yeah,
again.
but you're not flicking through like Instagram and all that type of
No,
stuff.
I'd
don't
only
have
have. I'd have like WhatsApp. I'd have done deals, adverts, that kind of stuff. That's all I don't even have. No, do you know? Say the status, is it?
Yeah.
Do you have a status on your phone? Basically, you can. I don't know how to set it up. I don't have one, but I know loads of people have them. If, for instance, if you can put up upload photos or whatever, anything you want to upload onto your WhatsApp status.
No, I haven't seen that.
Well, I can't explain it to you because that's as much as I know, because I don't have one, and I don't know how
If
to
it
set
is a
one.
thing, I don't even want to know about it.
Same as that. I don't want to know about it, because I tell you why. I know loads of lads that have it, and they've often told me that by the time they go through all their contacts, if you have 50, say 100 numbers in your phone,
Yeah.
And every one of them has a status.
And it updates the status. This is what I'm doing.
They keep putting their stuff up.
Yeah, turn it all off.
So I don't have it. I don't look through it, and I don't have one myself. Thing about it is, it means you're going through all of them pages, checking everything that they have on that status. So how long will it take for to do all of that if you have a lot of numbers? Could take an hour, maybe 2 hours sometimes. So that's why I don't go onto them. I don't have one, and I don't go onto people's status either. It's just enough for me to someone send me a message, or a picture, or whatever it might be, a prayer or something through WhatsApp. Just for me to click into that and just look, and that's it.
You've been starting to send me videos. When you have WhatsApp, when your phone is working, you were sending me videos, and you sent me some stuff, and I'm like, do you ever get a video and someone sends you, and you're like, I'm not into that.
Like what?
Like you sent me one. You sent me one, right? Now this is not slagging you, because you probably sent this to me because someone sent it to you.
A prayer,
right?
was it?
It was a cloud and it looked like something.
What was that? What was it again?
I think it was a cloud and it looked like an angel, and I was looking at it going, what the fuck is he sending this to me for?
Someone sent that to me from, that was from Medjugorje, yeah? Our Lady appeared in the clouds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm looking at that
But
going, I'm not into that.
What you don't understand is I'm trying to convert you without you realising
That's what I was thinking when you said
and
it.
it's going to happen. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen.
You're going to convert me using WhatsApp pictures of bleeding angels in clouds?
No.
I don't like your strategy.
I tell you what I do every day. Literally every evening, yeah? I spend about probably 15 minutes on my phone sending out prayer to all my contacts.
You know what I do? I'd be there spending about half an hour deleting all the pictures that you send me.
Yes, I do send you some as well. But you can send somebody else.
I delete them.
That's fine. That's your choice. I can't send you something to make you like you're on the other side of the line. I don't know where you could be in Donegal for all I know. I'm not beside you to clip your ear and say, Dean, look at that. Yeah, I do send a lot of stuff out all right to all my contacts. And they actually enjoy it because you get thumbs up for it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's knowledge. It's spreading the word of God. And that's my ways of doing it.
Using WhatsApp.
Yeah, I find WhatsApp very good for that. WhatsApp is bad for a lot of reasons, but it's good also for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, you have to find a balance.
So I don't need to find the balance. I know what's good and what's bad for, so I don't use the bad.
Yeah, but you had to
do
the bad stuff in order to realise it was bad.
No, not really, no.
You had to join them groups where there was all people putting in pictures of their cats.
No, that's only headache stuff, that's kind of headache, yeah. So I just...
here's a picture of me cat in a dress.
I delete
3
all
o'clock in the morning.
I delete all the... Because the meaning of the two groups was about Bible study. We're talking about religion and faith and all that stuff. But it was happening, but then there was a lot of interruptions in it. So I just said, look, I don't have time for this because, let's say I do enough of this in my own time, if you know what I mean. So I'm
guilty of that, being in WhatsApp groups that are set up for one thing, but then I'm putting in information about other stuff.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
It depends what to set up for.
Like I'm in one for cycling, but I put in other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but is it good stuff? If it's good stuff,
then it's a slippery slope because other people be putting in other stuff, and then all of a sudden you've got pictures of people's cats.
Yeah, you're opening the door. That's what happens.
You know what I mean?
You're inviting them to put anything they want on then at that stage.
And then all of a sudden you're getting pings on your phone at 4 o'clock in the morning of people putting in poems that they got off somebody. Here's an old poem that inspired me. I don't want to listen to your bleeding poetry.
No, I'm not really into all of that stuff there. I'm into simple things. The best way of saying it, simple things in life is good enough for me. Back to that, to your cycling again, yeah? So there was no charity work involved in it, no?
No, it wasn't about fundraising. It was about celebrating recovery. It was about being there and having fun.
Do you think that's going to help somebody, yeah?
See, what I liked was I got to hang out with people that I like who are in recovery for a couple of hours and cycle with them. And then when we came back to Ballymun, there was about 200 people waiting at the school here for us coming back, all their friends and families and all
that was support again, basically.
That was nice support. And the conversation about recovery and addiction is continuing to happen in the community.
But was there conversations in it?
Yeah, absolutely. Along the way.
Apart from the cycling, yeah?
People are having conversations because you're cycling. So let's say there's 40 people in the group, right? And we split into 3 groups. You're cycling beside somebody, and then there's 2 people behind you and 2 people behind them. So the person you're cycling beside, you're talking to them. cycling on the road.
Right.
How's it going? All right, buddy. And what are you doing
So
here?
they're telling their life story,
So
basically.
you're having a chat with them. You're finding out bits about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting, yeah.
And every, say, 10 or 15 minutes, you're changing and you're cycling beside somebody else. So for the whole day, you're getting to chat to somebody else and why are they out and how did they get into the group and, where are they in their recovery or who are they supporting?
Yeah.
But then also the families who are turning up to help celebrate it at the end, the person in recovery is saying to them, come on down here and have a look at this and support me and, you'll see other people in recovery.
Is there conversation then at the end of it, yeah?
There's conversations then at the end and everyone. I think the fact that people are just turning up to an event like that is important because they're accepting that recovery is part of their lives and part of their families' lives and part of the growth of this community.
Yes.
We're not hiding it away anymore.
No.
It's not called the shame cycle. It's not called the shyness cycle. It's called the recovery cycle.
Very good. Yeah.
And we have it out there front and centre. We have a big poster and it says recovery on it.
So it will benefit people in the end then, please.
Absolutely. It'll make people more open and more confident.
I was going to say that, even if you'd only give them courage, they're gaining something, aren't they?
That's it. At a minimum, it's given them the courage to say to their friends and family, I'm in recovery. I'm on a journey. Come on the journey with me. Jump on the bike and let's bleed and do this together.
Very good.
And if there's anything that I can do to help you on your journey in life, whatever it is, let's talk about that as well.
So they're helping each other without even realising it, basically.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Without painting it on the wall, they're helping each other just by turning up and supporting each other. And I think that that's sometimes just a simple thing to do. You're not doing it for any big rewards or any pats on the backs or any photographs with Daniel O'Donnell. You're just doing it because you love yourself and you love these people.
Would you like a photograph with Daniel O'Donnell? You would?
Yeah, you're all right, pal.
Huh?
I wouldn't even give that to charity.
Why do you keep mentioning about Daniel O'Donnell then?
Wait, Daniel. I went on my holidays up to Donegal, actually.
Is there anyone here from Donegal?
Me and my girlfriend up in Donegal for a week. It's a stunning part of the world.
Did you see him? You did?
No. Actually,
sorry.
the house that we were staying in,
there
there was a picture of him. The house that we were staying in Donegal, there was a picture of him on the mantelpiece with the woman who used to live in the house.
He's probably in every house in Donegal. Maybe he goes handing out the pictures himself. There's a souvenir for Daniel. All right.
Wait, Daniel. Do you sing any of his songs?
No, I'm aware of that. I don't even listen to them, mind singing them. But so that's number 18, yes?
Episode 18, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast.
Goodbye, Daniel.
It's long ago. So that's us for this episode, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.